Minato, KCM Sage Mode. Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash, known for his insane speed and genius-level intellect. But in the 4th Great Ninja War, he took things to a whole new level. Enter Kurama Chakra Mode and Toad Sage Mode, the ultimate fusion of Nine-Tails power and natural energy. This story kicked off in the darkest moments of the war. The world was on the brink of destruction, thanks to 2 overpowered Uchiha running the show. Then, Orochimaru's Edo Tensei brought Minato back, along with the other past Hokage, to assist the Allied Shinobi Forces. And surprise, Minato wasn't just back. He had something extra, the yin half of Kurama, sealed inside him since the night he sacrificed himself for the Leaf Village and Naruto. So yeah, when he activated Kurama Chakra Mode to fight alongside his son, it was next level hype. And then, he pulled out Toad Sage Mode, a technique he mastered at Mount Myoboku, but never actually got to show off while he was alive. The point is, he did it effortlessly. So, if anyone ever asks, was Minato strong? Let's see. Flying Thunder, God, Rasengan, Kurama Chakra Mode, Toad Sage Mode, excellent sensory abilities. He was stacked. Only downside is that this final form only showed up after he died. And in this state, he teamed up with Naruto to hit Obito with a Sage Rasengan, helping weaken him while he was the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki. That attack was a key moment. It helped Naruto pull Tailed Beasts out of Obito, turning the tide of the battle. Minato's time in this form was short, but man, was it legendary. Kishimoto really gave one of the most beloved characters in the series this insane final power-up, even if it was just for the last few chapters. What a way to go. Interesting, right? Here, we don't just watch anime, we live every character, every story, every emotion. Don't miss out on exclusive content and fresh takes you won't find anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button now and become part of the most passionate and creative anime community out there. Thanks for the support. This journey wouldn't be the same without you. Next, Sasuke, Indra Mode. After teaming up with Naruto to take down Kaguya Otsutsuki, Sasuke got the ultimate power-up. Hagoromo Otsutsuki himself blessed him with 6 Paths Chakra, unlocking the Rinnegan in his left eye. And in his final battle against Naruto, at the Valley of the End, Sasuke activated his ultimate form. First, he pulled off a Chibaku Tensei to trap every single tailed beast, and then absorbed their chakra. At the same time, he summoned his full-body Susanoo, but this time, he turned it into a vessel for the tailed beast chakra, and them. Indra Mode Sasuke was born. This was his peak form, the embodiment of destruction, the perfect counterpart to Naruto's Ashura Mode. This was the rematch at the Valley of the End, the same place where these two first clashed as kids. But now, they were literally the 2 strongest shinobi in history. In this form, Sasuke unleashed his ultimate jutsu, Indra's Arrow, a massive, lightning-infused chakra arrow, powered by all 9-tailed beasts, and his own Chidori-based lightning. This thing was no joke. It was so strong that it matched Naruto's 6 Paths Enhanced Bijudama Rasen Shuriken, a jutsu that combined 6 Paths power and Kurama's chakra. The moment Indra's arrow clashed with Naruto's final attack, the explosion was insane. It completely obliterated the statues of Hashirama and Madara, turning them into rubble. Symbolic, right? The destruction of those statues marked the end of the Senju versus Uchiha cycle, the final battle between Ashura and Indra's reincarnations. Obito Uchiha, Jubi Obito. After years of working behind the scenes, manipulating Akatsuki, capturing tailed beasts, and reviving the Ten-Tails, Obito finally became its Jinchuriki. This was it, the peak of a plan that had been brewing for almost 2 decades. And the moment he absorbed the Ten-Tails, the entire Naruto world witnessed a nightmare. His body got covered in scaly patterns, truth-seeking orbs floated around him, and he radiated this eerie black and white aura. And let's not forget that combo of Rinnegan and Sharingan. In this form, he wielded truth-seeking orbs as his ultimate weapons. These things could transform into any shape, erase anything they touched. And when combined with Kamui, he could basically teleport at will. Then there was the Sword of Nunoboko, a legendary chakra blade once wielded by Hagoromo himself. And yeah, he overpowered the entire Shinobi Alliance. Even reanimated Hokage couldn't touch him. At one point, the Sword of Nunoboko nearly wiped out the entire battlefield. Even when Naruto unlocked his Biju mode, he still couldn't fight Jubi Obito head-on. The dude was on a completely different level. He only started cracking when Tobirama figured out that Senjutsu could counter truth-seeking orbs, and in the end, he wasn't defeated by raw power. He fell because Naruto and the Alliance broke through his heart, not his defenses. Ah, the legendary Talk no Jutsu, undefeated since day one. Madara, Dual Rinnegan and Rinne Sharingan. Madara Uchiha, the legendary Uchiha, the man who went toe-to-toe with Hashirama Senju and survived long enough to execute his grand plan, eventually ascended to godhood. And that godhood, Jubi Madara, with Dual Rinnegan and Rinne Sharingan. His path to this ultimate form was wild. First, he got revived through Edo Tensei, proceeded to treat the entire Shinobi Alliance and all 5 Kage like a warm-up session, then stole his Rinnegan back from Obito, and finally became the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. And get this, even before unlocking the Rinne Sharingan, just having dual Rinnegan was already broken. With that, he pulled off Limbo, Border Jail, creating invisible clones that only Naruto, with 6 Paths Chakra, and Sasuke, with Rinnegan, could sense. He was out here fighting both of them at the same time, along with the entire Shinobi Alliance, like it was a casual sparring match. Then came the Rinne Sharingan, that fiery third eye on his forehead, and with it, he cast infinite Tsukuyomi, trapping almost the entire world in an endless dream. The only ones who dodged it were Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Obito, and Kakashi, thanks to Sasuke's Susanoo. This version of Madara was unbeatable. He steamrolled Might Guy in 8th Gate, went up against Naruto and Sasuke even after they got 6 Paths buffs, and was still untouchable. Honestly, at that point, there was no logical way to defeat him. And maybe that's why Kishimoto had to pull the biggest plot twist of all time, Zetsu backstabbing him and reviving Kaguya, effectively ending Madara's reign. Because let's be real, if that hadn't happened, the only way to stop him would have been summoning Hashirama just to cry in front of him again. Kakashi, Dual Mangekyo, and 6 Path Chakra. In the history of Naruto, there are few moments as jaw-dropping as when Kakashi Hatake suddenly exploded with Dual Mangekyo Sharingan and 6 Path Chakra. 1 second, he was just a regular dude with no Sharingan left, and the next, boom, he was practically a god, standing toe-to-toe with the mother of all chakra, Kaguya Otsutsuki. This legendary moment unfolded during the final stages of the 4th Great Ninja War. At first, Kakashi was in bad shape. Madara had taken his Sharingan, and it looked like his days of high-level combat were over. But after his death, Obito's spirit returned from the afterlife and gifted Kakashi both of his Mangekyo Sharingan, along with the last of his 6 Paths Chakra. Now Kakashi, the dude who borrowed a Sharingan his whole life, suddenly got a divine upgrade. And if you don't know, anyone with a drop of 6 Paths Chakra instantly jumps to God tier. Even Hashirama, the strongest ninja of his era, couldn't compare to that. 6 Paths buffs hit different. And get this, Kakashi didn't just awaken his second Mangekyo, he went full beast mode immediately. No warm-up, no practice. He summoned a full-body Susanoo. Yeah, and his Susanoo had the signature Kakashi scar on the eye, because even his ultimate form had to be stylish. And the abilities were also on the next level. Kamui Shuriken, turning his giant Susanoo Shuriken into mini wormholes that yeet anything they touch into another dimension. Kamui Raikiri, a perfect fusion of his classic Raikiri with Kamui's instant teleportation. This meant every attack he landed warped through space-time, hitting enemies before they even realized they were in danger. With this power, Kakashi was a temporary god. He fought on par with Naruto in 6 Paths mode, and Sasuke with his Rinnegan. But like all great things, this power didn't last. It was a once-in-a-lifetime gift, meant for one final mission. When the battle was over, Obito's spirit moved on, and with it, Kakashi's 6 Paths Chakra, and the eyes faded away. Finally, he was back to being the chill, book-reading sensei we all know and love. But for that one moment, he became a legend. Kabuto, Snake Sage Mode. After Orochimaru's death, Kabuto straight up surpassed him. The dude grafted Orochimaru's DNA into his own body and made his way to Ruchi Cave to master Sage Mode. And this was his final form, his strongest transformation yet. What we got was one hell of a monster evolution. Kabuto's body was covered in scales, horns grew out of his head, his eyes turned serpent-like, and his regeneration was insane. Actually, he didn't just take Orochimaru's DNA. He threw in Suigetsu, Karen, Kimimura, Orochimaru, and Jugo into the mix, basically giving himself a full ninja buffet of abilities. He had Kimimara's overpowered Bone Kekkei Genkai, Taiyuya's Genjutsu Flute, and the wildest part? Thanks to Jugo's cells, he could absorb natural energy while moving, something most sages can't do. Absolutely cracked. His power was no joke, and his Sage mode came with some seriously broken techniques, like Sage Art, White Rage technique, a blinding flash and sound explosion that paralyzes everything, including Sharingan users. Yeah, even Uchiha hacks couldn't counter it. In one crazy moment, he actually overpowered both Itachi, Edo Tensei, and Sasuke, two Uchiha prodigies rocking Mangekyo Sharingan. And we have Senpo, Muki Tensei, which let him control the entire cave like it was a living creature. To be fair, if Itachi wasn't in Edo Tensei mode, aka an immortal body with infinite Sharingan regen, that fight could have gone way differently. Kabuto in Snake Sage mode was powerful, intelligent, and practically unkillable. At this stage, he was on legendary levels. No joke. At that point, he was probably the closest thing to the Sage of Six Paths anyone had seen. Oh, and let's not forget, this guy was simultaneously controlling nearly 50 reanimated shinobi at full power through Edo Tensei. In the end, Itachi had to pull out Izanami, a technique that literally sacrifices an eye, to trap Kabuto in an infinite mental loop, because beating him head-on wasn't looking like an option. Guy, 8th Gate Unleashed. In a world full of genius ninjas throwing around flashy jutsu and busted Kekkei Genkai, Might Guy is just different. No fancy chakra tricks, no overpowered bloodlines, just raw, pure taijutsu. And guess what? That alone was enough to make Ten Tails Jinchuriki Madara Uchiha arguably the strongest dude in ninja history. Go. Wait, what? When all hope seemed lost against Madara's godlike power, Guy stepped up, burning brighter than ever in one final moment of youth. The 8th Gate is the peak, his ultimate form, where he literally turns into a raging inferno right in front of the strongest opponent ever. Guy spent his whole life preparing for this. During the 4th Great Ninja War, when the entire Shinobi Alliance was getting steamrolled by Madara, he knew it was time. He knew that this was the ultimate trump card, the last resort to protect his comrades and prove that taijutsu wasn't just some side gig. It could go toe-to-toe with a god. The moment he opened the 8th Gate, his aura turned blood red. Steam blasted from his body as his chakra literally burned his muscles away, and his hair stood on end like he was about to explode. And in a way, he was. In this state, his body broke down with every passing second, but in return, he had the power to make even Madara say, okay, yeah, this dude is nuts. Night Guy, the final all-or-nothing move, where Might Guy poured every last ounce of his life force into one single world-ending strike. And yeah, this might just be the strongest attack ever launched by a ninja without any fancy chakra hacks. This thing was so insane, it literally bent space itself. Even Madara, with his god-tier Rinnegan reflexes, couldn't react in time. Yeah, the same Madara who laughed at the 5Ks and toyed with Naruto and Sasuke had to admit that Guy was the strongest taijutsu user he had ever faced. That's some next-level respect coming from a guy who looked down on, well, everyone. When Night Guy landed, the air twisted, and for a second, it looked like Madara might actually die. This was the first, and probably only, time in the entire series where a taijutsu-only fighter pushed a god-tier opponent to the edge. Sure, it didn't last long, but for those few glorious moments, Might Guy proved that fists alone could shake the heavens. Kisame, Shark Form. When Kisame fully fuses with the legendary Samiheta, he stops being just a ninja. He becomes a full-on underwater nightmare, a monstrous half-man, half-shark transformation. The path to Kisame's shark form wasn't by chance. Tasked by Pain with capturing Killer Bee, the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails, Kisame prepared carefully alongside Samihata, his living sword with the ability to absorb chakra. And there he was, in his shark form, swimming with the instincts and power of a true predator. What makes shark form so wild is how extreme it is. His body becomes quite bizarre, with gills appearing on his neck, fins growing on his back like a real sea creature, and his face distorted. Samehada merges with him, turning him into a chaotic entity. This is the moment when Kisame reaches his wildest and most ferocious state. He was already a beast with water release, but in this state, he could flood an entire battlefield and make it his personal hunting ground. And once he's in the water, he's the landlord. He can even sense chakra and track enemies through his shark skin. So even if you take away his sight, he's still good to go. In shark form, Kisame reaches Jinchuriki tier strength. He straight up went toe-to-toe with Killer Bee in his 8-tails state. Yeah, obviously in water, but still. Not gonna lie, Bee was this close to not making it out of that fight. Choji, Butterfly Mode. The world of Naruto is packed with insane transformations, but there's one that doesn't get talked about enough: Choji Akimichi's Butterfly Mode. This is hands down one of the most beautifully chaotic moments in Naruto. In this state, glowing butterfly wings spread from his back, and his entire body radiates raw power. This happens because he converts all his body fat into pure chakra, a perfect formula for an explosive boost in strength. Back in the day, this mode could only be achieved by taking the Akimichi clan's final red pill, something that made you 100 times stronger, but also had one tiny side effect. Yeah, it could kill you. Talk about extreme dieting. But during the 4th Great Ninja War, Choji unlocked Butterfly Mode naturally. No pills, no shortcuts, just raw skill. And get this, before, using Butterfly Mode meant he'd get skinny, but in the war, dude went full kaiju. He was massive and glowing at the same time. He was at a size where most shinobi looked like action figures next to him. He even went toe-to-toe with the freaking Gato Mazo. Now, did he fight the 10 tails head-on like Naruto and Sasuke? Nah, but his strength set up key counterattacks, keeping the alliance alive during the most chaotic phase of the war. In a world full of Keki Genkai and Jinchuriki, Butterfly Mode is proof that sometimes the most ordinary ninja can pull off the most extraordinary things. And here's a fun fact. His size-altering ability is actually powered by Yang Release, meaning this guy is secretly one of the strongest Yang Release users in the entire series. Tsunade, Byakugo, activated. When the 4th Great Ninja War broke out, the world finally got to see Tsunade at full power, and that power came in the form of Byakugo no Jutsu, a state where she basically turned into an unstoppable chakra storm. Tsunade, alongside 4 other Kage, had to face off against the most broken enemy in ninja history, Madara Uchiha, resurrected with Edo Tensei. And this was the Madara, Rinnegan, Wood Release, the guy who used to go toe-to-toe with Hashirama Senju. Now, he was back, immortal, and had infinite chakra thanks to Kabuto's busted reanimation jutsu. But Tsunade was so strong against him. Ever since she lost Nawaki and Dan, she had been storing chakra in the diamond seal on her forehead. And when she finally released it, the entire ninja world got to see just how tanky she really was. The moment Byakugo Jutsu activated, that diamond mark exploded, sending mysterious black markings all over her body. Her chakra surged, triggering creation rebirth at max level, allowing her to instantly regenerate from literally any injury, even attacks that would one-shot most shinobi. This was pure chaos mode, a temporary god-tier tank state where her strength, speed, and durability went beyond normal ninja limits. I mean, the woman got impaled by Madara's Susanoo sword and just shrugged it off, kept fighting like nothing happened. She turned into a walking shield, constantly healing herself while also keeping the other Kage alive, tanking insane attacks and buying them time to fight. And of course, we can't talk about Byakugo without mentioning Sakura. She followed in Tsunade's footsteps, mastering the technique and proving she was just as much of a tank, summoning Lady Katsuyu, punching dozens of 10 tails clones into oblivion, tanking Madara's attacks, and even giving Obito enough chakra to sync Kamui with Kaguya's dimensions. Really impressive. Since their abilities are pretty much the same, I won't go too deep into Sakura here. Alright, next, Naruto, Burien Mode. In Boruto, the Leaf Village was on the brink of destruction. The threat was Ishiki Otsutsuki, a guy even stronger than Kaguya, looking to wipe out everything and turn Boruto into his next vessel. Enter Baryon Mode, a never-before-seen transformation, where both Naruto's and Kurama's chakra were burned away to create an entirely new energy source, kinda like a nuclear fusion reaction. But the catch was that Kurama wouldn't survive it. And yeah, Naruto looked insanely cool in this form, engulfed in a blazing red aura, his body wrapped in a special chakra cloak, and his face showing more of Kurama's features. At this point, he was a walking nuclear reactor, radiating an energy never seen before in ninja history. But here's the wildest part. Naruto didn't need Rasengan, didn't need shadow clones. Every punch, every kick, every movement was a death sentence. His chakra in this mode didn't just cause damage, it burned away the opponent's lifespan on contact. Basically, every time Naruto touched Ishiki, the guy's time was literally being erased. Naruto in Baryon mode was beyond broken. If Kurama Chakra mode and Six Paths Sage mode once made him the strongest ninja alive, then Baryon mode put him on god tier levels, strong enough to overpower a literal Otsutsuki god. His speed was absolutely ridiculous. Ishiki, with his Byakugan and thousands of years of combat experience, couldn't even react to Naruto's attacks. But yeah, the price was Kurama's life. The Nine-Tails, his partner since birth, was gone for good, leaving Naruto without his tailed beast powers. Or, well, until Kurama kinda reincarnated inside Himawari later on.